Hi. Hi, my name is Janice Marks. I'm from Page Math. And today we have Wendy Chawanika, and she's going to talk to us for a few minutes about how Page Math has helped her with her children and to either mitigate or prevent math learning loss. So Wendy, why don't you go straight ahead and tell us what kind of issues you were seeing and what you wanted to happen at home.
Okay. Well, my story's a bit unique because I have kids that are exactly a year apart. I have a 7, 6, and a 5-year-old. And so that was really hard to try to figure out what everybody needed math-wise, actually just in general. So I stumbled across it actually at a local store, and I bought it for my oldest daughter because she loves math. And so she's like, okay, I want to do this. She was not even in kindergarten at the time. And my husband and I had always said that there's 3 things you have to be good at, and it's math, reading, and kind. And so we're like, okay, if we can knock those 2 out before she even starts kindergarten, she'll have a leg up on the competition. So she started it. She liked it so much, and the little superheroes were exciting to her that her younger brother and sister at the time were, 4 and 3 years old. That's really when they started as well. So I got everybody started on it, and it is simple and it's easy. I personally work out early in the morning, so I set up the table with the math a day and a little snack in their water bottles. And by the time I come home, my husband has all the kids' math already done. It takes them anywhere from, I don't know, some days they can breeze through it 5 minutes. Other days it takes maybe 10, 15 minutes. But I think the number one thing is I struggled with math growing up, and I did not want my kids to have that. And so I just wanted it to be so ingrained that when they were out there and they saw 2 packs of 4 kids, they knew it was 8 kids total. I mean, just the simple stuff. And I feel like Math a Day really, really hits on that because it's just, it becomes almost like the alphabet or counting 1 to 100. It's just something that they know. And I really think that's the reason my oldest daughter got chosen for the gifted program, because she could just get things quicker than most kids and it didn't stress her out or struggle.
So what were some of the things that you noticed before and then noticed after you got started, and how long did it take until you saw a difference?
Well, before, a lot of the like finger counting. Okay, we have 6 cookies, we need 2 more. And they're like 6, 7, 8, or they'd start at 1, count 6 and 2 more. So it was just a slow process. And now I'll say, okay, set the table. We have 2 extra people at dinner and we have a family of 6, and they just throw 8 out. And it's not even a thought. So that's like the number one thing I noticed with my age group, the kids being so young, is that, and that was a remarkable fast pace. I'm trying to think. We gave it to her in December. We didn't start till mid-January. February, it was February, because we were making a cake for Valentine's Day. We have cake for breakfast on Valentine's. And my daughter did something, and I was like, oh, how'd you get that? And she goes, oh, I don't know. It was just in my brain. I knew it.
Wow.
So it was quick. It was easy. I mean, easy. I think that's like the number one thing I personally want to drive home is, I mean, I'm trying to homeschool 3 kids and I'm not a teacher, and it was easy. It's there. They like it. It's quick. It's little, like the dangling little carrots each day too, because they get a little star that they can color in, or, there's different things that make them feel like we're progressing, we're doing something, and yay, I got a little star.
What were some of the things that you tried before you found Page a Day Math?
We really just started with highlights, the highlight series. They have a pre-K, a K, a first grade. And I have it here with me just to kind of highlight the difference in highlights. Okay. But it was this book here, and it's good. I'm not going to say it's not good. However, it's not advanced in any stretch of the imagination, especially when it comes to math. The first thing, and this is already first grade, is like, okay, we're counting fish 1 to 50. That's great, but I really think that should be done pre-K or K. And then just the progression of that was, from there, it was counting. And then from counting, it was skip counting, adding basic 1 to 2s, things like that. And my kids, at least with me sitting there, can grasp that really quickly. We needed something that was faster, more advanced, and just kept them on target with understanding the basis of math, so it wasn't a challenge moving forward. We also used a Smart Alec. I think it's part of the like Leapfrog collection, those books. And these books now, at least I've noticed, are a lot harder. But here's the deal. My kids should be in first and kinder and pre-K. And because I think of Math a Day, my first grader is using the third grade workbook and able to breeze through this with an ease that I'm jealous of, to be honest. And I totally attribute that to Math a Day, just knowing her foundation and knowing the basics of math.
So you see them just more fluent, they're answering problems just easier.
Yep. And complex problems too. I know that just because they have that foundation and that base, that they're not struggled, or they're not flustered by it at all.
So was it hard to get you? So with our system, there's really like a rhythm to it, and you be consistent. So like in the workbooks that you have there that you're showing, often they'll have between 100 or 50 to 100 pages, maybe a little more. With ours, there's like 140 days of practice, which is 280 pages. Yeah. So you do the one page back and front. Did you have any trouble getting them into a routine so that they were doing it a certain number of times a week? And how many times a week were you having them do it? Because I know consistency is super important for learning anything, and certainly math.
Absolutely. Well, we started just, Monday through Friday, and it was easy. I can't stress how easy it is. I mean, if you as the adult present it and make them sit down for it, they're going to do it. It's easy. They get used to it. And the pattern's there. When we first started, I put on a timer on our Alexa and played classical music for 15 minutes. And I said, okay, sit down, do your page a day. If you get through it before Alexa goes off, we get to go outside for 5 minutes before we do our next segment, whatever it was. And so at the beginning, they were just like, okay, they sat down, stayed focused, got it done, closed it. Mom, I'm done. I'd bring it up. They'd bring it to me. We'd correct it and move on. The thing about it is, if I personally, the way I look at it is, if I get my page a day math done first thing in the day, it sets the tone for the day. They stay focused. They get things done. They realize that, okay, if we do stay focused and just knock this out, we could be done with school by 11 or 11:30, and then we can go to the park, or we could do something fun. So it's really not only helped us with just math, it's helped us with the way we look at academics and the way we stay focused. I think that's a key component.
So you're using the page a day math as kind of like a warm up, and then you do the math that they are doing for school. So you're doing
sometimes we do. With my two youngest, no, it's just page a day. They don't need anything supplemental. They've got it all. My oldest, only because she is the one that loves math, I do supplement it. But at the grade levels they are now, they don't need that. I mean, she's far beyond. She asked me, like, we were doing the subtraction stuff, and she was flipping numbers, and she goes, well, if I have 8 minus 10, it's -2, Mom. And I was like, well, yes, it is, but you're not there yet. Like, we're not doing that. You don't try to flip it. Don't try to make it harder. Like, don't do any of that. And so I supplement her just because she wants it more than the rest.
That must be fun to see.
Yeah, sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it's a bit of a challenge. I'm like, oh, no, that's not my jurisdiction. That's when you go back to school. What do you think?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. So what do you think, like, if you had to name like the 2 things that page a day math helped you out with the most, as far as your kids go, what would they be? And then as far as you're making your life easier, what would it be?
As far as the kids, just having the basics of math as a second language, I think far surpasses anything else. Not having to think or do finger counting, or, really get caught up on, what's 10 plus 8 or what's 10 plus 10, whatever. And just having it there and being able to move to the second component of whatever the problem is by far outweighs anything else. The second thing with them personally is just the ease of it. It's like, okay, we're doing our page a day. They know it's quick. They know it's easy. They know, I say easy. It's not easy. It's become easy because of the way Math a Day progresses. I think if you were just to flip to the very end and hand it over, it would be difficult.
Right.
But the pattern of the way it's presented and the way that you want them to learn it makes it easy. So I shouldn't say it's easy. So those are the two things for them. For me, it's, there's a lot of free information out there, printables, things like that, that I could get and I could compile, but I'm not going to do as good of a job researching everything behind it as you have and as this program has done it. So for me, it's like I could go around and spend the afternoon picking what I'm going to do and how I'm going to progress throughout the school year and how I'm going to get them to their end of the year goals. Or I could just do this and I could put it out there and they can get it done. So it's not that back and forth with my child either. Like, right. Oh, mom, I don't want to do it. They know that's what it is. We do it and we move on. So those are the biggest highlights for me,
So it just looks familiar. It's easier to get into the routine because it's the same look. It's the book. You open the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And they know what to expect. And like I said before, the progression of it makes it relatively easy for them. And then as cheesy as it sounds, the little graphics and everything really help them stay excited about it, and sometimes some days I'll put out markers or crayons and I'll say, okay, when you finish now you can color that whole page. And they get excited to do that. So it's the little things, it really is, but it definitely has helped.
Yeah. I mean, people seem to really connect with the characters. So which dogs are your kids' favorite ones?
I can't personally remember. However, upstairs in my son's bedroom, he had ripped out that last page, like the congratulations, colored it and put it up on there. And they all have their little certificates all over their doors.
I'm really happy to hear that.
Yep.
That's how it's supposed to be. So that's good. So they can see their progress. So.
Yep. And every time they finish a book, we have a little presentation. And then my husband works from home. He comes downstairs from the office. Our granddad lives with us and it's a big deal. So they get really excited to finish. They get really excited to rip that out. And it's something that's very nice.
That's great. So, well, thank you so much, Wendy. And for anybody
You're welcome.
That isn't familiar with Page a Day Math, there are sequential books that come in a box. There in the multiplication one, there are 12. Depending on the level that your child is on, it's for a younger child, there are 24 problems a day. If your child is older, there are 40 problems a day. If they're in pre-K, there are 18. So it's very child friendly. It's really child focused. Basically, all you're going to do is just open up the box and get started. You just open up to the first book day one. And that's it. And then your child gets started. They get used to the sequence very quickly. This is what it looks like on the inside. And then every day that when they finish their lessons, they get stars to color in, which you were talking about. Mm-hmm. And every day, the motivation factor there is that every day you get an additional star. So on day one, you have 1 star. There's 14 pages and 14 days of practice in a book. So on day 14, you have 14 stars. So that's kind of exciting. And there's a joke on the back of every book just to keep everybody
interested.
Yeah, just to keep it fun and light and stuff, because it should be fun, like reading a picture book or something like that. So, well, thank you so much. Thanks for sharing your experience, and I appreciate it. And I'm glad it's working out for you at home. I know that this year was a different one for everybody. Yeah. So,
yeah, well, thank you for all the time creating the product, because it really is remarkable. It's worked.
Thanks. Well, thanks so much.
You're very welcome.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye.
And tell your kids I said thank you too.
I will.
All right, take it easy. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.